Coming into the new NBA season, many people, including myself, were low on the LA Clippers. With Kawhi Leonard out again for what seems like forever, and Paul George no longer on the roster seemed empty. So far, they've become one of the most interesting teams in the first week of the NBA, with a mix of vintage James Harden, relentless defense, and solid role players. Due to Kawhi being hurt and PG leaving, there was a big opportunity for lots of role players to step up, and so far, it's been Norman Powell and Ivica Zubac. Powell's 24.7 points per game on 51.9% shooting provides a reliable scoring punch, especially during clutch moments in the Nuggets and Warriors games. With Norm, you know what you're going to get. When he's on a heater like this, he can be one of the league's best shooters and scorers. You're not going to get much rebounding or playmaking, but that's expected for him. Ivica Zubac, meanwhile, has turned into a surprising force on both ends of the basketball floor. He's averaging 22.7 points per game, 14 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. His improved patience, footwork, and playmaking have allowed the Clippers to rely on him as an offensive hub, while his defensive consistency strengthens their identity on that end. If he can even sustain 90% of this production, Zubac could be in contention for all defensive second team maybe, or even MIP honors. Another important piece on the defensive end is Chris Dunn, who had been previously bouncing around the league and honestly was out of it for a bit after some time with the Bulls, and then he kind of got his way back in the league with the Utah Jazz. Now with the Clippers, he's been a revelation on defense. His perimeter presence and high basketball IQ help keeps the Clippers defense highly effective. The defense is currently ranked third by defensive rating in the NBA. Dunn's numbers, 2 steals and 6 rebounds per game, reflect his impact, but honestly his biggest contribution is his constant energy and ability to cover ground, allowing teammates to take more risks on defense. Against Golden State, he locked up Buddy Hield on design plays, and the overall defense excelled and won the game for the Clippers. Alongside Dunn, Derrick Jones Jr. has provided reliable perimeter defense and energy while shooting confidently from 3. Jones Jr., who's a new signing in free agency, is averaging 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.7 steals in 30 minutes per game to start his Clippers career. The 60% from 3, which is just 6 for 10, is obviously not going to hold, but he's taken open looks with much more confidence than previously in his career and is not hesitating on attacking closeouts either. The main reason the Clippers added Jones is for his defense, and he's not disappointed, serving as an absolute pest in the point of attack and forcing turnovers, while also playing smart and disciplined team defense. And his ability to finish above the rim on lobs and as an offensive rebounder has been great to see, as the Clippers have lacked such an athletic wing for years. And of course, we gotta talk about the star, the main show, James Harden. The Beard is leading the Clippers in scoring, 25 points per game, leading the entire NBA in assists, 11.7, and also bringing in 8.7 rebounds per game in 37 minutes per game. That's a lot of production for a guy who's 35 and previously been considered one of the laziest and least athletic players in the league. Harden has undoubtedly been the best player on this surprising Clippers squad. However, he's shooting 36% from the field and 19% from 3 on 8.7 attempts per game, while also turning the ball over at a high 6.7 times per game. His low efficiency and high turnover rates is saved by doing what he does best, getting to the free throw line. He's getting to the line 10.3 times per game, shooting 90%, and is shooting 50% on 2-pointers. Still, while he has to be aggressive with Kawhi out and now PG gone, he's settling for either too many step-back threes or taking lots of wild drives to the paint rather than taking simple mid-rangers or floaters, and that's killed his efficiency. Even with the low efficiency, Steve Kerr defended him by sending double teams 40 feet from the rim. That's the kind of attention Harden used to get in his MVP days and in his prime. If he's still forcing teams to defend him that way, this could be huge for the Clippers in the long term. I think over time, Harden will be more comfortable playing the hero ball role again. This kind of reminds me of those like Luka Mavs teams from a couple years ago, when Luka was the heliocentric piece of the offense, and then he was surrounded by high-performing role players like Dorian Finney-Smith, Josh Green, Dinwiddie, Maxi Kleber, but similar role I think for Harden here in LA. Over time, Harden's efficiency will increase as he's going to take better shots in coming games, and he's not going to shoot 19% from 3. He's just too talented to do that. Even though he's inefficient, it's hard to complain given the immense offense load that he bears for the team. However, the Clippers aren't without issues. Terrence Mann has struggled offensively, and Kevin Porter Jr. has been very underwhelming, averaging just 4.3 points per game on abysmal 20% shooting. Outside of Harden, Mann, and Powell, the Clippers are also limited in their shooting, meaning they rely heavily on rebounding, defense, and hustle. They've done well in these categories so far, outworking opponents on the boards and rotating effectively on defense. But the question remains, can they sustain it? With Kawhi's health always in question, it's hard to say. Realistically, we could see this team crash down in the standings as Zubac and Powell return to normalcy. But if they keep this energy and intensity alive, they might surprise a lot of people this season. If Kawhi returns and plays at a top 10 to 15 player level like we know him to, who knows what could happen. But this LA Clippers team is the most interesting team in all of basketball. Thank you guys for watching. It's been Six Man Sports. With the first video back for this new NBA season, I'm going to be a lot more active, so make sure you subscribe, and I'll be back in the next video. I'll catch you. Peace.